this instructional video, I'm going to go over the endings for the present indicative, both the active and the middle and passive forms. Okay, and so we're going to begin with the present indicative active forms. And I'm going to be using the paradigm verb luo, which means to loose or to destroy. Okay, so let's walk through it. So what I have here on the whiteboard is first person, second person, third person, singular and plural forms. So first person is I or we. Second person is you or you plural. Third person is he, she, or it. And the plural is they. Okay? So let's walk through it. So the first person singular is luo. So these are the active forms, just to active. Luo. The second person singular is lu ace. And the third person singular is lu a. Okay. I loose or I am loosing. You singular are loosing. He, she, or it is loosing. Okay. So those are the singular forms. Let's move over here and do the plural forms. Okay, the plural forms, lu, amen, okay, lu, etta, and finally, lu, u, sin. And this has a movable nu, which means sometimes the nu can be there and sometimes it's not. Okay, this nu is added on to aid in pronunciation in a text. So let's say you have a vowel right after this. The tendency is for this nu to create a stop here so that you can catch a breath and go move on to that vowel. So luamen, we are loosing. Luetta, you plural are loosing. And finally, that's second plural, sorry, you are loosing. And third plural, they are loosing. So those are the forms of the present indicative active. Okay? And now we're going to move on and talk about the present indicative middle and passive. Okay, we've seen the active forms. Now we're going to go over the middle and the passive forms. In the lecture video, I talked about the meaning of the middle voice and the passive voice. And in the present indicative, the middle and the passive have the same endings. Okay, so to tell the difference between the two, you need to be aware of what verb is being used, if it's a middle only, and you need to be aware of context. Okay, so let's walk through the middle, and again we're using luo. Okay, so the first person singular, and so let me change this up here. We're doing the middle and the passive. So the mid passive forms. Okay, right now. Okay, so the first person singular, present indicative, middle, and passive is lu o my. Lu o my. The second person singular is lu a. Okay, lu a, and has an iota subscript. Lu a, iota subscript. In the lecture, I talk about the formation, why that forms that way. And it's a collision of vowels and all sorts of wacky stuff happening, but I talk about that. The third person singular is lu etai. Okay, luomai, lue, luetai. Let's go over and look at the plural forms. So it's lu amatha. Okay, luamatha, lu estha is the second plural, and lu on, it's a new, on tie. I'm going to erase that and write it out better, okay? Where to put the eraser. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to do that better. Lu on tie. Okay. Luomai, Lue, Luetai, Luamatha, Luesta, Luantai. So in the middle voice, Luo would mean something like I loose myself or loose for myself. That's the middle idea. I go over that in the lecture. If this was a middle only verb, it would have an active meaning. So let me use a middle only verb for you, and I'll go over the meaning with you. So same endings, but let's say we use a middle only, like peruomai. Peruomai, Peru, a, Peru, etai, Peruamatha, Peru, esta, and Peru, antai. Okay, this is a middle only verb, peruomai. It means I go. Okay, so even though it's got middle endings on it, it's a middle only, it has an active translation. Peruomai, I am going. Pru a, I, you go. Pru atai, they, he, she, it. Sorry, he or she or it is going. Pru amatha, we are going. Pru esta, you are going. You plural are going. And then pru antai, they are going. Okay, so how do you know if it's a middle only verb? If you look it up in the dictionary, in the lexicon, it will have this form. It will be peruomai or erkomai or prasukomai. Those are how middle only verbs appear in the dictionary. Whereas the other types of verbs, the omega verbs, are all, their lexical form would be luo or blepo or lego. Okay. Okay, so that's the difference. That's the difference in how you tell the difference. Okay, so those are the paradigms for the present indicative active and the middle and the passive. Again, you need to learn these paradigms so that you can recognize and parse these verbs and translate them when you see them in context. So it's an important memory point for you. But the nice thing about it is once you learn the pattern here of endings, it's good for all omega verbs that you see, and this ending is good for all middle only verbs that you're going to see as well. Okay, so that's it for now. Uh, until next time, this is your Professor Jim Knight, Jimmy the Greek, signing off.